Hi everyone. So I was just in a flow and I'm gonna get back there and bring forward the place that I was going. There's a lot of mental energy clearing that we are going to get through going forward. And those walking the spiritual path, like all of us are on a spiritual path, obviously. Everything's spirit every moment. But those here to assist everyone in recognition that it's a spiritual path, we have the purposeful intent to, well, it's not like a mind intent, it's a soul intent, that our spirit is of guidance to serve, not being resonant to the mental energy that has to pass, because it's no longer relevant. And so because you can't see this, can you? You can't see what I'm talking about, like the mental energy that our atmosphere that we've created on Earth, all of us over periods of time, but here we are now in it, whatever soup that is, of varying intensity. Well, light doesn't muck around with the evolutionary shift where like the universe is going through the whole thing and we're a part of that. So there are those of us that are not here to live holding on to the old, that must go with the shift. So that's pretty much the simplicity and clarity of what I needed to speak, because it's quite an important thing. Like, it's of the moment. It's what we're going to be living through. And we've seen it over time, but really begin to shift. So in my quiet moments just before, my guides have just reminded me about the flow I was going to, because I was interrupted. The flow I was in just before was to remind us all that we are stepping beyond the old mental. So we pretty much just got to let things go. So when you feel pretty much in the lower part of your body, like you really get a little bit on shaky ground because you don't want something to change, that's when you've got to train yourself from the upper space of trust. I've just got to let this go. So when something comes to your attention that life has to change in some way, you're allowed to sit in that space with however you feel, because that's wise to do, before you do the letting go. You sit in that space because you know you've got to let go. It's like when you sit with a friend or even a stranger, anyone at all, when they've just gone through something and perhaps they don't have anyone around and you're the next person, so you might put an arm around them, on their back, on their shoulder, hold their hand, or just sit with them so they can see and feel your presence. Someone is there with them, right? Well, it's in that Matthias, can you stop? He keeps trying to slow me down so I don't get in a flow of sharing. But the whole point, I keep sharing, Matthias, is because you don't. So if you're wanting attention of me on you, you'd better get here and we'll do it together. But I am not stopping for what you want to do. Like this is some big miraculous holiday and you're just trying to get your bearings still. Because he's taking his time getting here. Like going through all whatever and all the awareness of all the change he's had to go through. Yes. And this probably brings me right to the point. Some things have got to go and you don't need to analyze them so much. Yes, hold the space, right? Spend some time in it. Realize life is shifting. Remind yourself of the whole perspective and aspect of life, that we're not here forever, so it's not our job to hold on to things to keep them the same. And so in that flow before, and I still got him hanging around, trying to mess with my head space so that I don't go into my flow and whatnot. But I go into my flow, the flow I open to, because that's exactly where we're going. So I don't have time to sit around and just daydream about something. I'm living it. Go with the flow. And I don't just talk about any old thing. I live the moment, one with the flow, my soul. So everyone, there is flow. You are your own soul. Connect with the flow. And you mainly do that because you can easily let go of old. You take a look at it, like I was saying, hold the space, and it just gets more quicker and quicker because you recognize what's for you and what's not. So the more you hold the space, things don't stay dense, like you gotta analyze, identify, go and meet people who are going through the same thing like for ages and ages and ages. You be completely brutally honest. I'm going through something. I might go and talk to someone about it. You're going through something, but you must always keep your eye wanting to go forward that things aren't to stay the same in problem issues. Or if you can't accept that something is coming in for you and it feels too big and massive and wonderful, you still have to go into it. You see, I am of angelic assistance, as a lot of us are. I am of angelic assistance, like living it through my being for myself, and what I'm here to help with in this flow space of us, how we flow. But we are not to be any kind of stock image perspective of what someone wants of us. You have to be that soul you are and flow. So when I say you have to go into it when something new is coming towards you and you have to accept things, you have to let go, like literally do some actual letting go, like, and going forward. I can be like angelic assistance with a hand on the back, but I'm not going to be a specific way. I'm going to be me. So when we think of angelic, and I think the angelic realm has been like insulted in this manner, that they're expected to be like, why hasn't God helped me? And this is exactly the key that I was trying to get back to. Because you have been helped, but you didn't listen, hear it. So you didn't listen because perhaps it wasn't what you wanted at the time, right? You didn't hear it because you didn't think you could be helped. So that's why we don't listen as well, because the guidance isn't going to be, oh, you should go and do that. Like you're living on a cloud. It's going to be a felt guided direction and you follow through. Now that's a clear one. You feel it, you know something, you don't have the language for it because it's in your gut, but you follow it. Now that's what I'm used to the communication of, because I've practiced following it. And not only that, it feels completely different to humans telling you what to do or thinking they know best for you. When you go to your gut and your solar plexus internal connection with the guidance you cannot see, but are very close, even closer than the humans at times, which is a beautiful thing, okay? They're light. It depends how you pick up. So auditorily, like, you might hear it. It depends how you're functioning in life and what's noisy for you that you let in. And are you the kind of person that sits and enjoys like being in the space of quiet and nature? So then you'll know that internal resonance of you, and you'll know when you get a gut response to something or yep, I'll definitely do that because you felt it all the way in alignment. It depends how you clear your space and really accept you're a soul. That you can, will, and do receive that way where it's unseen. So you have received guidance and you haven't heard it. And I could say that that's a good majority of us. And you will start to pick up on the internal language when you finally fall in at your root chakra. So like sitting on the ground like I have been, because I've been guided to, right? Instead of on my chair in front of my whiteboard doing various things, just on occasion whenever I'm drawn to do that. Fall into your root chakra, drop your shoulders. If you feel like hunching over a little, do it. Rest and admit something to yourself, because everyone right now, I am sure, has some kind of mess. A little mess, a lingering mess, to do with interactions, relations, jobs, home, work, love, not love. Okay, just sit. I'm hand on heart, left to the left, right over left, into the gut, breathe down, root system, drop in a soul. I am soul. I am a soul. I'm a soul. I have help in the unseen. And I need to sit regularly and start dropping in accepting this. This is who I am. Now, this is not an ego I. We all are souls. So let's not get high on the I. We're dropping into our root to ground this on planet Earth. So you repeat, I'm a soul. And let your energy start to feel this. You are an energy. Soul is energy, energy is soul, full of various, let's not even go there right now, consciousness of lifetimes, but let's not even go there. Because briefly, sacred path, you don't need to know all about your soul, you need to live now. And in the now, we have guidance, breathing with us. Now, I say that because right now for me, I can breathe in, and if you watch any other guides, channels that are here for this moment of consciousness with all us light on the planet, they are speaking with the higher consciousness to the now. To the people in the room, connected to the energy on the planet, and to the energy on the planet connected to the people in the room, or wherever it is. One person, a million people. More, less, whatever. It's an energy. So they're bringing in, speaking to the energy of the moment. Which is why you will hear them say, it may not land what I'm saying right now, but there's something going on in your energy field that will pick up on what it needs, because in the now moment, there's no division. So the now moment is ongoing. So the now moment is ongoing, okay? And in the now moment, ongoing, everything is moving. And this is energy. So we might be asleep. We might be sitting with our eyes closed. We might be in a conversation. We might be in Africa. We might be in Australia. We might be in wherever. We're all in the now moment. So we're all in this soup energy mix of planet Earth. And this is the one that even gets to my mind, right? And you got to get out of the mind for it. And I want to explain it in less words as possible. Guides, that no matter where you are, the rise of consciousness is the leading edge, and you are always in the rise of consciousness. So there may be groups operating at certain consciousness levels, and collectively there's all different ones of these. But all together, you're raising consciousness. Or it's lingering in this, it's in this, it's in this. But all together, wherever you are, the consciousness and whomever is on your planet is moving the consciousness forward. So you can be a participant in the rise of consciousness, or you can be in the same old. You can accept there is the now moment, or you can distance yourself from that fact. So when you're in the rise of consciousness, we're all in it, but when you're consciously a part of it, and we're not going to go into that because it's obvious. You stay in the old, you don't want to shift much, okay. In the rise of consciousness, your guidance, direction, openness is in wanting better for everybody. Because that's the heart and above. That's the rise in consciousness. You can't change that and put the heart down at the sacral chakra or vice versa. Like you can't say, oh no, I just want to operate with this and not that and whatnot. You can't change it. So we're here to assist that. It's alignment for vertical consciousness and not forgetting, and not like just thinking we're horizontal, just look out and around and do stuff on this planet. We're actually like the cross. Don't forget, you are vertically receiving. You are not just stuck down here in stuff. So that's where you can look at stuck energy, staying the same, blah, blah, blah. Or you have balance in it. Okay? So you might just think you're just this, but you're not, and then you can have more balance. But if you think you're just this, then you got nothing helping you rise in consciousness. So when you got to let go of stuff, you sit in a space of the whole, that letting go is natural. I'm not here forever. I'm a part of heaven and earth. When we die, there's a lot of research on this planet now. We go back to spirit without the body. Okay? Then we'll have another life somewhere else when the time comes for the soul path of what intricacies it may be called upon to learn more of for its journey, for its expansion. So in this, readers or channelers of now moment resource, they don't speak to the mental clutter in clarity. They speak the clarity that lets go of the mental clutter. Literally, bringing in the light focus more dissipates the old. That's it. And we all become happier because the light focus coming in more, we see we're co-creators. We're never alone. So just let go of clutter as quick as you can. But you have to get to know what that is. And you have to open up to the fact you're a soul. And that you can receive anytime. And that you have God-given awareness of the whole. So it's just a matter of, you know, as a human, right, before you become aware of all this, we can really get heavy in not wanting to do something, not wanting to do something new. And you know, that heaviness comes from not listening to our guidance. So it's kind of like you've got to accept that you hit brick walls in yourself. And sometimes we didn't actually consciously put them up. But when it feels like a brick wall, keep going forward knowing that it's got to go. For whatever reason it was built up in your unconscious conditioning or programming. Because no one needs to feel like they're stuck with walls. Okay? We just don't need it. It's not our purpose. We're not here to solve it and keep being a part of it. And I do think that's why we have, God bless his soul, but Mr. Trumpet, because I can't be too kind to his actions. Nothing against the trumpet, but he just toots his own horn and it comes out his ass. So my point being, though, because I'm not here to get joy out of insulting someone, but he is someone that I don't mind calling a trumpet. So I do think that is why we are experiencing someone who has wasted money on building a freaking wall that won't get finished. Not only am I happy it won't get finished, but the resources can be used a hell of a lot more cleverly for whatever issues, as well as balancing why there are issues. Okay, we have a lot more wiser problem solving tactics. Okay, not to continue the negative against each other in humanity tactics, you know, tactical battle or whatnot, but looking at the whole of a situation and how you can bring light, education to it all. Because those of us on the planet at the moment are not here to sit around and watch something going on. We actually know what to do. And when we come together, we're going to tip the balance back where there's not so much issue, although there will be some mess. You got to have, like, how long has this been going on? And what is the grounded root system element? And you don't look at either sides like it's sides. It's like, what is actually needed? You know? And it comes from a whole different place inside of us. It comes from this expanded space that brings light to everyone's part of the situation and receive guidance. It's like opening up a true holistic heart space of your soul with all the questions, right? From what appears to be either sides of a situation. And you've opened up, well, this is for me. You open up to massive, beautiful light assistance of higher intelligence that's going to drop in. Because underneath all this ruckus and noise and mess and confusion and anything else you could describe it as to try and masquerade shit, there's this true and honest beauty of this planet that we can all exist upon. Okay, and we can stop calling each other names. We can start spreading, like, seriously, and I don't care how this is taken, our wings across the lands of our purpose of being here. You know that feeling of, and then put the wings down. You know that peaceful feeling? It's like home. Everyone deserves to feel like they're at home on this planet. And that is beyond the noise, the sound. The Om, the One. And so this space that I know, I come out of this space saying, hell no. We're going to the one. And I don't care if you're called Tom, Dick, or Harry. President or not. Everyone deserves the one. And in comes highest of intelligence. That's what we want. Oh, this journey. Do you know what makes all this happen so much easier? That we lead with our highest vibrations in communication. So I want to share one more thing with you. At 38 minutes. I don't think I need to, but it was just the beautiful space I went to before I started this video. Because I'd gotten frustrated at the chop and change, right? The lack of communication spoken in one's highest vibration, as though we need to hold off that kind of communication or something, right? That's not something to hold off. What is to hold off is thinking anything but that. Don't hold off communicating high vibrations. Like, do that and don't do anything that doesn't call you to do that. You know, which is what we've been used to doing on this planet. They're just doing anything and continuing that, no matter what it brings, no matter what it does, blah, blah, blah. We'll just keep doing that. Not conscious of, well, is this of the highest vibration? Because what I put out, I'm getting back. Am I just sending myself around in circles, or just from A to B, A to B, A to B, A to B? Or am I like, life gets enormously amazing like this. And then you don't even vibrate to doing things the same anymore because you're too busy picking up on higher vibrational thoughts, assistance, guidance, moving forward, noticing things attracted to you before you even know it in the field. So this is how contrast works, that sometimes something can frustrate us, so it brings out our soul, because your soul is of high vibration. It didn't come here to suffer, get unwell with the human, go through all the human stuff. But if it does, then that's all right, because that's a soul's evolution, whether on planet Earth or when it goes back, it's going to work stuff out with the design teams of spiritual assistants and go with its flow. Okay? It will have to, if we're not conscious of what we're doing on planet Earth, we will have to be conscious of it in the higher vibrations of spirit. And so you go back and you do various understandings of choices you could have made. And like if you ever go back to that planet Earth again, then, you know, you learn the different things for the expansion, evolution of your soul being, and you take that with you with this bits of growth. But if you uncover this and don't do certain stuff, like you let go of old and you're aware that it's whatever and you're moving forward, then you don't have so much to do when you go back. Okay, because you're in the high vibrational state, you're more closer to the heavenly light and how it operates. So from getting frustrated, I eased out of that because I know I don't want to be in that. This is the recognition of the consciousness, although it feels so heavy and visceral. Visceral. I knew I didn't want to be in that. So that's the wisdom of shifting out to something else. Focus, refocus. Okay? And then when I refocused, sat quietly, you know, you do whatever you do. Whatever brings you peace, get into it. Let it go. Okay? And then I sat there and I asked for help, actually. I said, God, I'm going through an opposite to me situation. I need your help. No joke. See, you can't think this. You can't go, what, where, what happened? It's, you're in it. You asked, the energy. Now you have to practice it and you have to say thanks when you realize you are held, because then it's quicker. But it's for our feelings. It's not for our ego or anything. So it's not like you practice this so you can master the world. It's you're practicing this to feel better for yourself, to maintain your high vibration, and that's how you attract from who you are, the life you want. And you're supporting that for the soul contract. So anyway, my wish was their command. I'm heard. We know each other. It's felt. Within less than a minute, I was in this whole other energy field. My whole environment shifted. So it wasn't that I wasn't still aware of what took place and what I let go. I wanted to let go. So that's the key. You want some help? Ask for it. Let go, because you're asking sincerely, and you'll be in that space. Because sometimes people can muck around saying they want something, but they don't actually get themselves consciously available to receive it. That's the other thing. It's like you can say a prayer, But are you just like putting out a shopping list, or are you actually saying, you know, and waiting for it? Why haven't I got this? And why haven't I got that? No, it's like you're communicating with the unseen that are breathing with you. All right. So just be honest, sincere, perhaps quiet, drop in and allow. So when I dropped in, right, and it was, how would I describe the air? The feeling of the energy. It's like subtle space. It was, you were loved and supported. You know that feeling? Like you got an angelic hug, presence. So, Matthias, can you please not do that to my chest and my throat? So I dropped in. I want to get to the point of this, sorry, but I keep opening up in case you receive anything for yourself that calls you to just drop in and be more. I'm a soul, I can receive. I'm a soul, I can ask. Shh. And feel. Like, don't try to feel. Just let go and be. It's like you're bowing your head to your co-creative partners in the unseen. Sometimes we can see them, sometimes we don't, we can't. It doesn't matter, you don't have to, because the journey is just recognition of the energy. So, you know where I dropped into? This is what I want to get to. I dropped into the awareness because I had been speaking about it as well. That from a young age, my soul path has never actually let me fall into, it's let me experience. I've fallen into depths. I'm not saying I haven't, but it never let me go. Sometimes I felt like I'd fallen into or walked into tunnels where I couldn't see light in this world. Yes. And we all will, and we all do. Where it's going to be a lot more assisted as we consciously grow, where we won't feel such emotional depth on this earth from environmental, mental catastrophe energy. You know, clutter that is just catastrophized. Catastrophized. Anyway, I went to this place when I was young, and I was going through this experience, and it was all a quick experience, so I don't need to put a lot of words to it, but I was afraid. But what I was shown was I'd received guidance that my young mind couldn't even mentally articulate, but it was a knowing. And it was actual guidance because it gave me a download of why something was occurring. And you know how that occurred for the soul, for that 5-year-old soul? Actually, no, I think my brother was 5, so I think I was 7. It was a young age anyway. It was quite young. I was 6 or 7. You know why we receive guidance and sometimes we don't even realize it? Because the questions we asked aren't spoken. The questions we ask are inside in our internal energy field, and we get an angelic response quickly, and we don't even realize that that is what has assisted that we won't fall in. So everything has happened in the unseen, and especially for children. They are assisted, and no doubt it was angelic assistance, But I feel and realize from going into that experience that I now know what I was actually told. Because it was like what I was just experiencing. God help me in this opposing situation. So when you're put into something, no, not when you're put into something. When you're in a life experience of any situation, there is an internal dialogue that your angelic team know. And they do what they can because they either knew it was going to occur, or because, well, they do know that. That's a given. They're watching over us all the time. But there is some things we have to learn. So I did have to feel the fear of the situation. And I did have to, not realizing I was doing it, but I think it's kind of natural that we all do this. We all do this. Why is this happening? But we don't actually, say it out loud. It's like it can be any intensity, a scream, a fearful question, but it's an energy speaking to our guides. And straight away, the guides gave me a hit that, and over time that opened up as well, because this particular person would do particular things. And so I grew to understand. And so by the time I was a bit older, I could easily understand that that person had been through things that he was dealing with. Right? And we can look at this in any situation for any person. But he was dealing with things that had nothing to do with me. Nothing really to do with my mother or my siblings. And that we would be okay. That there would be some turbulence, but it was all for learning. Okay? Because as your path goes on, you realize something made you more aware, more stronger, more grounded, more loving, not wanting that behavior in the world. None of us like, people who can't sort out their stuff and they're giving it out kind of like a cry for help. But what they need to do is channel the energy, the emotion out and get some grounding and speak. This is the higher vibration of the soul. His soul would be able to be more expressive rather than caught up in his own challenges, not able to move forward, and it comes out crazy. So I just thought I would share that because I'm sure we could all relate to something like that going on. And that's the fact that at, early 30s, when I was progressing in my path, and I was asked the questions like, is there anything I'm holding on to, like in my solar plexus, because that's got to do with spiritual growth, expressing your heart and who you are and your soul moving forward. And when I thought back to these different situations, that I now know how much I was informed that I would be okay. But when I was 30, looking back at this, because it's now about 20 years later, looking back at this, I only had a little bit of detachment I had to do with blame, like hurt, like he was a parental figure how could he treat me that way? You know? Just natural, like just natural emotional attachment to, you're of a young age and you're expecting something, but you get something, you know? So, and it was because I'd had a child of my own too, that I think the hurt was there. It's like, I would never do this behavior to my child, and it hurts me that it had happened to me. But it was good I had that clarity, whereas some people in generations can carry on, you know, that behavior, and it can get, you know, things can on this planet have got a continuation of the same level of consciousness, but you know, we're not in that now. So I wanted to share the beauty of that, because it's all energy, and the fact we are supported and do receive more than we realize. So if you quieten down and open up in the quiet, you know, saying, I declare I'm a soul, however you can get through your ego to the fact you got to ground that you're a whole energy, and life can be way better than any dilemma that we think we're stuck in emotionally. On the 57th minute now, so I think I'll finish up. And hope that you connect with the beauty of that in your own journey, like that there is more beauty in your journey than you may have thought there was. There is more love that you can ask for help of. Just don't have ego expectations on what that help is. Be open and grounded. Because when we have expectations, we can be ungrounded, wanting and questioning why life isn't happening a particular way for us. So we must have that, I am a soul, and I humbly ground this fact that I work with the whole. It's not just about me. It is about you, but only in your expanding as a part of the whole with everyone else. So what you give, you get back. So if you acknowledge you're a soul with everyone else, then you only want to give out in your humble internal walking forward betterment. Like, we're all doing the best we can, and this is where that statement rings true. We're all walking each other home. So it's like, I'm doing the best I can to better myself with my soul path. And does anyone need a hand? Because we're all doing this, walking ourselves back home when we leave this planet. Like, you know, we're here for a journey, and we'll all go back to spirit. So that is a nice quote to sit with, actually, if you have a moment, that we're all walking each other home. And if you can ground in that you're a soul and we will return to spirit, it might actually lighten up, you know, bring a smile to your light a bit more. That's all we're all doing. So if anyone feels down, or if you feel down, just pick yourself up somehow and realize you're more guided. Hold the space for yourself. Ask for help. And just don't forget to be grateful for it. Like, the more you open your heart with thanks for that which I cannot see, but I know you helped me. Okay? In that sincerity, that's a gorgeous space you want on planet Earth. God bless everyone. At 1:01. I hope that helped. Bye for now.